All right, we have breaking news, and it means that all of us were wrong. The Indianapolis Colts have officially made their first-round selection, and it was clear in this offseason and all the moves that were made that there was a clear emphasis on the defensive line. The Indianapolis Colts signed Grover Stewart to a 3-year deal. They extended DeForest Buckner. They add Roquan Davis, and now they have officially signed or drafted Liatu Latu from the UCLA Bruins. This guy has been absolutely dominant throughout college. I like this pick. I like this pick for the Colts. I think that this is a really, really good move. Long term, I'm honestly shocked. You can tell, like you can probably still hear the draft going on. I literally ran into my kitchen and recorded this, and this is absolutely wild. This is bonkers. I mean, you look at the points per game. The Indianapolis defense ranked number 28 overall. Yards per game, they ranked 24. Opponents' points per play at 22nd, yards per play 15th. They were bottom half in the league in nearly every single defensive stat. The opposing rushing play percentage was number 27. Yards per rush, they were 10th, just still decent, but that was largely in part to a really, really good linebacker room that we had last year. And then, opponent rushing yards per game, 122nd. You just go through these statistics, and the Indianapolis Colts were not good. But you look at the guy like Liatu Latu, who just had a really, really good. You just see he was explosive. He was explosive off the line. I think this is a really good move. You solidify a defensive line. I think we were all kind of expecting corner. We were all kind of expecting this. I was even up until the point of the draft, I was texting with people and saying that it was Dallas Turner. But I honestly, this is a name that kind of snuck up. I did not think that he was going to be available. This is a 6'5", 265 pounds, just an absolute freak, and a guy that really was explosive. We were all wrong. Chris Ballard is now on the Pat McAfee same thing, so I want to see what he has to say about this. But I mean, this is just what we deal with. Definitely not expected. I think that if you're like me, you were expecting a playmaker, you were expecting any of this. There was a lot of smoke that Chris Ballard blew at the end. He does not look good. Chris Ballard's really growing the hair out. Looks like he's stressed. Maybe losing a little bit of follicles up top. He just said you can never go wrong with a defensive end. I would disagree with that fundamentally, but we kind of are at this point where we got to trust him, right? There's not a lot we can do. NFL Network's Peter Schrager reported that teams are split on the medical for Latu going into the first round on Thursday night. Now, this is largely in part to he's had a pretty large injury history. But I mean, this past season, he had 13 sacks. He had 2 interceptions. So this is a guy that can be really dynamic. We don't have a lot of draft day comparisons that I found on him, but you look at a guy who he's clearly dropping into pass coverage a lot. And yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. I mean, everything that we had said, everything that we had seen was pointing towards the Indianapolis Colts going even more linebacker than edge rusher. I don't think anyone thought he was going to be available. And so what does this mean now? This means that the Colts have Nick's pick at 46. And so they've done extensive research on Xavier Worthy. They've done extensive research on these other guys. And honestly, I would like to still see them go wide receiver or cornerback, but this means that they have their guy in the second round. And I think that if you're Chris Ballard, you got to be looking ahead. He drafts pretty well in the later rounds. We really thought that maybe he was going to go. He was going to go and try and draft up or even draft back, but he did nothing. He stayed exactly where he was. This was obviously the guy that they had been looking after. We didn't have stuff because I did not see a single mock draft have Liatu Latu going to the Indianapolis Colts at pick 15. So that's what we got. We're going to continue to keep you updated on this. Ballard seems, I'm literally watching it in the other room. Ballard seems ecstatic with this pick. Seems ecstatic with where they're going. And yeah, we'll keep you updated as we go. But yeah, I mean, this solidifies that the Colts are looking to improve on their defense. They like where their offense is at least as far as first round talent goes. And they weren't gonna bite on a guy like we saw some other teams maybe do a little bit early in the draft. You saw Michael Penix go really early, Bo Nix go really early, J.J. McCarthy go earlier than I thought. So I mean, Ballard's not a guy that's going to overspend on a guy, I don't think. And so he thought that this was his guy, and now we kind of got to hope and trust that that's it. And I look forward to doing a lot more deep dives into this guy that they have seemed to want to keep as the number one. I'm going to pull up his draft combine prospect profile real quick, just because out of curiosity, I want to know what. Yeah, this was this was a wild pick, because he did not. His prospect grade was 650. He was a boom or bust potential. Athleticism score, this was the lowest that Ballard's drafted in a few seasons. Production score, he was high. Had a really good 40-yard dash, 4.64. That's incredible for an edge rusher. Athleticism score, he was 75. That's low for Ballard. And then, an 84. But he was the number one ranked as far as athleticism and total score. Number one ranked defensive end or edge rusher coming into this season. So that's what we got. The Colts are looking at this. Be sure to like and subscribe and to check out more content. We're going to be doing as many deep dives into every single pick the Colts make from rounds 1 through 7. So, yeah, make sure to follow and stay updated, and we'll keep you updated as we go.